When working with dates, sometimes you need to find the total number of days between a beginning date and an end date. This is a very common need in Excel. So you can easily do that with just your basic formula. You start with an equal sign. You say this date minus this date. And it gives you a result, however many days between those two. What it's looking at is that serial date behind the scenes. When I flip this to a general format, you can see what I mean. You've got however many days between those two serial dates behind the scenes of the date. Now, we've got an old legacy function I'm going to bring in. This is from back in the Lotus days. It's called DATEDIF, and it's not recognized in our Excel, but it'll still work in Excel. But you just don't see it come up in the function list. What you need is three pieces to this argument: the start date, the comma with the end date, comma, and then the code for what you want. In this case, Y for year, surrounded by quotes. And when I do that, I get however many years between the date of the Wright brothers' first flight to today. We've been flying for over 114 years. When I want to do months, I'm going to use that same date, and you're probably going to ask me, why not copy this down? I sure could. When I copy it down, I've got a problem, though. The problem is that that change is relative to its new location, and that is not going to work. I need to lock in the B1 and the B2 so that it holds those in place. To do that, I'm going to make those absolute references. I need dollar signs in there. And I'm using the F4 function key to quickly insert my dollar signs. Little extra hint for you. And I'll just drop that in and copy that down. So now I'm getting the same result for all three cells. In this case, I want to change the Y to an M to pull in months, how many months between it. And then this one I actually want to put in the D for days. And I'll get a different result for that. The error there is just it was worried I was doing something wrong because it looked different than the last cell. But once it figured out I was doing a different pattern, it accepted that without an error. So there you go. Sometimes you need to figure out the difference between two dates, pulling out how many years, how many months, or how many days between. Notice that those two match. When I did the simple formula like this, it also matches the DATEDIF that I just put in with that specific function.